Today we're going to be working on putting the trim around these windows and the doors, baseboards and what have you. But typically in a house like this, you might see where they would put drywall around here, and then they have a corner bead and they'll just finish the drywall. But in this particular house, it's old construction. Everything is so out of square. Even though we try to get these as square as possible, it sometimes just isn't, able. You're just not able to do it. The simple solution, what we're going to do is we're going to take some cabinet grade plywood. It's got a nice finish on one side. We're going to go ahead and rip that down to the width inside this window. It's, let me measure. It's 3 1/4 inches there, and it's going to vary a little bit. That's 3 1/4. That's about the same, about 3 1/4 all the way around. And what we'll do is we'll cut that trim to go, the plywood rather. We'll cut that plywood to go all the way around this, and we'll build a frame, a box frame, that will fit in. We'll shim it out, and it will cover up this gap in here. Then we'll put our face trim on it. It'll be wood. It'll be a little more robust. It'll last longer for tenants. They won't hopefully tear it up as easily as you would the corner beads, where you have a corner bead, you bump it with a little bit of something, it tends to damage it, and then the drywall flakes off. And then you have to come back and repair that later on. But I think this is a good solution to the one problem we have with the house not being, everything square, and the other problem with solving a potential issue down the road, having to come back and do a lot of repair. It's going to be a lot easier just to paint trim or replace a piece of trim than it is to come in and do drywall work later on and have to repair corner beads. So, and the wood is a little more robust too. If it gets a little wet, it's wet, but it doesn't deteriorate like drywall would if they happen to leave the window open and it gets wet. So that's what we're going to do with the windows. We've just got a colonial base we're going to put down around the entire house. We're going to have to do something special around the doors. Let me see if I get the camera over there where maybe you can see that. Now you're probably not going to be able to see it, but there's a gap between here. It's about a 1/2 inch gap where the wall was not perfectly level, but we had to level the door so it would shut properly. And it's a 1/2 inch here. It's about a 1/4 inch at the bottom, and this side is a little different. It's about a 1/4 here and almost flush at the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some 1x stock, we're going to cut it, and we're going to fit it around here, and then we're going to plane that down so that when we put our trim on, it's going to finish that out nicely. So that's our goals for today. Don't know if we'll get it all done, but we're going to get started on that, and you'll get to see the process. One of the problems we ran into with this house is that everything was so old, and the house was out of square, and we wanted to have the doors closed properly. But what that means is they don't always line up with the walls correctly, so it's difficult to put trim on. And plus, this house has the 3/4 inch siding on the outside, so the new style doors are designed for 1/2 inch sheathing on the outside, not 3/4. So we end up with a recess here. So what we end up with, at the top here, we've got like 1 1/8 inch gap. At the bottom, we've got a 3/4 gap, because the door has to be adjusted level so that it operates properly. So what we've done is we've taken some clear pine and we've ripped it down from a narrow end to a thick end, and then that we'll just attach here, and that will shim it out, and we'll put our trim right on the face of that. And we've got the piece at the top, same thing, goes from narrow to thick, and then our face trim will go on top, and it'll finish it out. That way, it doesn't look all wonky. It's going to be a little bit wider reveal on this side than on this side, but you just deal with it as you can. And that's what you come across when you're working on these old houses. So we're going to get ready to put this trim in. Well, we didn't get everything done that we had hoped to get done, but we got quite a bit done, and I'm still pleased. We got all of the baseboard in. We got all the baseboard in except for in the bedrooms where there is carpet going in. We've got to get those rooms cleaned out yet. I've been using them for storage for my tools, but As soon as we get that area cleaned out, we'll be able to get in there and put baseboards in. But we did, you can see, we got our windows trimmed out, and I think this is going to be a little bit better than doing drywall around the windows. You see we got our door trim installed, got our door trim shimmed out so that everything works good. Got our baseboards installed in here. You can see it's looking pretty darn good. And for those of you who haven't looked at it, go back and look at the original video from the house when we first started. You'll see that there's a huge difference. This is what can happen if you put your mind to it and just take a little effort and think outside the box. Down in our hallway, we've got our vinyl plank in. It's going to terminate at the bedrooms. As you can see, we got our baseboard in. I'm not able to get a piece of baseboard down these little holes in behind the corners. I'm not going to worry about that. We'll have to come back and put a piece of trim, transition piece, between the tile and this vinyl plank. But you can see we got our vanity set. Ended up having the wrong size tub spout. It's a 1/2 inch too short, so I've got to pull that out. Got to go down and get 1/2 inch longer so I can put my tub spout on, so I can wrap that up. Was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get my baseboard in behind my toilets, but it worked out fine. And for those of you who were watching the other video, I told you I wasn't sure what I was going to do in here because this wall was a little bit out of square. And we had this cultured marble. Well, what I ended up doing was with a diamond wheel, I come and I just went along this edge here and I scribed it and cut it to fit the wall. Now it's not an ideal situation, but it solved the immediate problem. It fits, it still looks good. It's not hanging over the edge of the cabinet's not hanging over, so it worked out fine. And I'll have to come back and put some caulk on that so it doesn't leak. We don't want water getting down behind the cabinet. Still got to get my return air built out inside. But anyway, you can see I've went ahead and ran my flooring just right up underneath the edge of the door into the HVAC. And in the master bath, originally my vanity was to the left a little bit more, and as luck would have it, I'll show you what happened. I don't know if you can see that very well, but where the water or where the drain comes out of the wall, it was lined up perfectly with the vanity drain, and I couldn't get the drain to connect up. So I ended up taking the cabinet loose and shifting it back to the right about 3.5 inches so that I could hook up my drain underneath there. But that's, it worked out fine. This is a builder grade faucet. They're not bad. It's a nice little faucet. It's $30, so wasn't a bad deal, I don't think. Here again, we got our tile and tub set. or toilet rather. All of our baseboards are in. Gonna have to come back and paint my doors and trim baseboards. Basically touch up the baseboards, they're already painted. And I've said I gotta get these rooms cleaned out so that I can go ahead and get my baseboards in. But as you can see, everything is trimmed out as far as the windows are concerned. Turned out really nice. I'm real happy with that. And with that, I think we're going to call it a day. We worked kind of late last night trying to get all the flooring in so we could do the baseboards, and well, paying for it today. But well, it'll be fine. It'll all come out in the wash, but it's coming along pretty good. It's looking really good, and as you can see, it's just about there. It won't be long. This will be ready for somebody to move in. So as always, if you like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded. And we'll see you next time.